Hi everyone, I'm Monique with Open Gate Quilts, and the joker who is trying to make me laugh in the background is my husband Mark. Say hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi everybody. Hope everybody is doing well tonight. Hopefully tonight we will finally get to the Burgundy and Blush quilt. Talk about 3 times a charm. It's been 3 times. Last week I was sick. The week before Facebook wasn't cooperating, so cross your fingers. Tonight we will show you how to do it because I really love this quilt and I really wanted to show you how to do it. A couple things. First of all, here's the block that we're going to be working on tonight. I have it up here so we can kind of show you how things are going together. And remember, when we are doing this, we want to make sure that what do we do, Mark? We like, we share, and we comment. So I know you guys are out there, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them online while we're doing this. If not, I will answer them later today, and hopefully we'll be able to answer all your questions. So if you want to download the free pattern, it is on maywoodstudio.com, and it's called Burgundy and Blush. So go to maywoodstudio.com and you can download this pattern for free.
Wait, what was it?
maywoodstudio.com.
And it was
free. We love free. So this is free, so make sure that you download the pattern if you haven't already. And I know a couple of you have already purchased your rulers, and I'm going to show you that again. Let me show you quick what that is. It's the Fit to Be Quarter 6.5 and Companion. You are going to love this ruler, the ruler set. This one we're going to use a lot. I use this one a lot. And with this, it's on sale this week till Sunday. So make sure that if you want to get it, you get it while it's on sale.
And where can you get it at?
OpenGateQuilts.com. It's under the ruler section, so go at the top and under rulers, so OpenGateQuilts.com. So make sure that you check it out. And it's the Fit to Be Quarter 6.5 and Companion. So that is the ruler set. This is the free pattern that comes with the ruler. Show Zed in his bed.
Oh.
Zed decided to join us tonight, and he is now in his bed keeping us company. And this is the free pattern that comes with the ruler. I always put a free pattern in with the ruler because I want you to start using it right away. So this shows you how to do a ton of different things. Shows you how to do flip corners on all these. It shows you how to do a square and a square flip corner. So it's a really fun way to learn how to use the ruler. One of the things I use the ruler a lot for is half square triangles, which is what's in this quilt here. Lots of half square triangles. So I'm going to show you how, again, I'm going to show you later in a bit how to put it together and how to do the half square triangles. And as always, we like to do a giveaway to one lucky winner. This is an old school pattern. Can you see Tilly down here too? If you have pets, either cats or dogs, are usually right under your feet whenever you're working, and I have no exception with R2. So at least Zed's on his bed. Tilly's just hanging out here. But anyway, this is called Confetti. This is one of my older patterns, but it's a fun pattern. It reminds me of spring and summer. It's just fun. And now that the weather's getting better, I'm so excited. I just can't wait. So this is the pattern to one lucky winner. So if you need to comment and share and like us, and you get a chance to win this pattern, Confetti.
Be sure to invite your friends to our page too.
Yes, invite your friends and like it. And also, I will put this pattern up on my website as well. So if you don't win it, you will be able to purchase it.
Right.
It's not up there right now. So this is called Confetti. So how do you win? You comment, you like, and you share. And also, remember, one lucky person gets a free pattern. Check out OpenGateQuilts.com. All right, let's get to this quilt finally. Okay, one of the things that I just loved about this was the fabrics. I am a pink girl, as you probably have noticed in all my clothing choices. Well, in the last, how long have we been doing this now? About 6 months, 5 months? Mm-hmm. So I wear a lot of pink. So anyway, I love my pink. But I wanted to show you the selection of fabrics here These are the fabrics that I chose for the line. So I chose a blush or pink, and then the burgundy color in a background, and I grouped them into groups. So I have four sets of a group, which consists of a light, a pink, and a burgundy. And then you're also going to need a main print or a floral. If you have a print that has repeats, that's fine. You don't have to worry about it not being exactly a floral. The reason I chose this is that when I looked at it, I thought this would be a lot of fun to cut this up and make it into a kaleidoscope type effect. It's actually a lot of fun to do, so I'm going to show you that. And then back to the fabrics, honey. This is the inner border and then the outer border and binding. And even see my nails match, so I'm all matchy-matched today. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell you on your instructions, it tells you all what you need to cut. So it'll once you print this off, you'll see exactly how to cut it. I'm going to show you how to cut fabric 1, the fabric 2, which is the pinks. There's squares cut in half diagonally once, and then all the others are pretty straightforward. But this is the big one, is the floral. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It does give you some instructions in here on how to do this. And I did design this pattern for Maywood Studio, so this is my pattern. And like, if you've done my patterns before, you'll notice that I'll try to put in pressing directions and as much information as possible to make sure that it's easier for you to do. But doing the cutting these squares is actually quite simple. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. What you need is you need to open your fabric up. It requires 1.5 yards of your main print. So what I want you to do is just open it up so you have your selvage, and then you have your length of fabric going this way. And when you cut this, you're going to cut it the length of fabric as opposed to the width of fabric, which is what we normally do. Why? Fabric. Oh, you've been with me too long, honey. Okay, so why am I doing this? Well, let's look at this piece because it's a full piece. And I'm going to show you. And this is a trick when you're looking at your fabrics and you're planning on doing a kaleidoscope. What I need is I need 4 of the exact same squares. And if I cut my fabric this way, and I'll open it up and show you because this is the width of the fabric. If I open it up this way, and I'm just going to start with this particular flower. So I have 1, 2, and 3. So I only have 3 of them. So I can't use the width of the fabric, but if I rotate it and use the length, I can get, so I'm picking this fabric, or this flower, excuse me, I can get 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how I chose how to cut my fabric. If I could have got 4 out of the width, I would have just cut it the width. Now when I first started cutting it, I was really careful on centering my flowers and making sure that they all are perfect as far as getting a flower in the center of my 5-inch square. You actually don't need to worry too much about that. Reason being is that when you look at these, let me move this. These are my half square triangles that I made, and I'm going to show you how to do that. When you look at these, you're going to cut it up. So you don't really even see the flower, especially once you get a seam in here. You're not even going to see the whole flower. So if you have a flower in the middle of your square, let me see if I have one here. I've got my, if I can figure that out here. So if you have a flower in the middle of your square, it's going to be cut because you're cutting diagonally across it, so it won't really matter. So that's why I'm saying don't worry too much if you're centering your flowers or doing something like that, what you can do is you can cut your length and just cut a 5-inch strip. Don't even worry about trying to center those flowers in the center. Just cut a 5-inch strip along the length. And I did that already, so I don't waste your time doing that. And I've got it right here. So I do have one in the center, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I don't have to worry about that. I could actually use this piece, which I really actually kind of want to use that piece. Glasses. Those are important. I told Mark right before I started, I said, I start out so organized, everything's all in place, and then it kind of goes from there. Throw things all over. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this piece right here, and I'm going to show you why. What I'm going to do is use my 6-inch ruler, and I'm looking for my 5-inch because I'm cutting it 5-inch. So I'm just going to cut this here, rotate it around, and I'm going to cut this on 5 inches. So see, I didn't even really worry about the flower being in the center. Why? Because we're going to be cutting it in half diagonally. All right, so I have my first square. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to move along your fabric here, and see here, you're going to match this flower with this so it's right on top. I gotta blow my nose, ladies, sorry. This darn cold is hanging on like you wouldn't believe. And guess who got sick?
I did. Yep.
Guess who gave the cold away? Wasn't that nice of me?
Yep.
Okay. So how I'm doing this is I'm just lining this up exactly in the same spot that it is on the fabric here. So I line it up as best I can so it's lined up pretty good. And I'm going to cut. Do the same thing on the other side, okay? Then I'm just going to do the same thing. Just keep moving down until I get my next piece on here. Let's see, where are you? I need to go that way. My piece. So keep it kind of a little more organized than I am so that I can make sure I get the same piece. There we go. It's right here. All right. So I'm going to leave this one like this so I know it goes on the next piece. Okay? I'm just going to line it up the best I can. So far, so good?
Looking good.
All right, I'm going to cut this again, and this time I'm not going to turn it because I get all messed up when I do that, and I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to move down again, and I'm going to line this one. See how much easier it was when I'm organized? I'll line it right up on there. So you need 4 of these. Okay. Now notice, they aren't exactly perfect. The reason I cut it 5 inches, and it does not tell you this in the instructions, but I'm telling you this because this is a little trick that I've learned in making it, is I'm going to line these up as best I can on top of each other. And then what I will do is I'm going to square it down to 4 7/8. The size that we need is 4 7/8. Once you add your seam into it, then you're going to square it down to 4 1/2. The 7/8 is your seam allowance. So I'm going to line that up, cut that, turn it around, line it up on the 4 7/8 here, trim. and do that on all four sides so it's nice and square. Does anybody have any questions so far, honey? Let's get that.
Do you want to know about the pattern again? Of course, where you can get into that.
Okay, maywoodstudio.com. It's called Burgundy and Blush, free pattern on their website, so
Right.
you can download it.
Right.
Okay? All right.
But I want a quick shout out to Julie Stewart, because she is my friend Tom's. They're not married yet. I don't know, but you know. She started,
Fiancé?
yeah, well, yeah, I guess. But,
girlfriend? I don't know. Do we still call them girlfriends?
yeah, but they're starting their own company, Mad Designs, mother and daughter designs, and
Fun.
it should be fun. Check them out on
Check
Facebook.
them out. Yep. Hi. What's her
Julie.
name? Julie. Hi,
Yeah.
Julie. Welcome. Okay. So, don't throw these pieces away, because if you look at them, they're all the same. And you're going to have another one here. So we can actually use this long strip twice to get 8 squares, and I'll show you how we do this. Now you need to determine whether you're going to cut it this way or this way. And the reason you need to cut it in half diagonally is because you're making half square triangles. So what you can do is kind of get an idea of what you're getting by, I like to put my pink on there so I can see, and you can already see we're getting our little kaleidoscope happening.
We do have a quick question here.
Sure.
How many repeats will I need in my fabrics?
You will need a total of, there's 12 blocks, so you need 24 squares, and you need from each, what I did was I did it in sets of 4, and you actually get 2 sets of half square triangles because we're cutting these in half. And the instructions tell you how many to cut and what you need. You have plenty of fabric. So if you want to cut more, like let me just show you on this particular block. I'll bring it over. This block was one that I thought, oh, I'm going to center my flower. I'm going to get it all nice and pretty. The center is very plain because I centered it and I had this big blank spot on the white. So that's why I say don't worry about centering your flower. Kind of cut it and then play around with getting your fabric. See how cute that will look once I get those together? I'm going to get that cool kaleidoscope effect by using this. And the flower, if I had centered it, my flower would actually be in the center and I wouldn't really see it that much. So you're going to get 2 blocks out of each set, and what you will do is you're going to cut them in half, and I'll show you that in a second. But I also wanted to show you how I get that kaleidoscope effect, and if I cut it the other way, I'm going to turn that in here. So there's 2 ways you can cut your squares. If you cut it this way, you're going to get a totally different look by doing your kaleidoscope. So that's what's kind of cool about this, is that you really don't know what you're going to get until you actually cut them. And the nice thing, like I said, is you've got plenty of fabric. So if you see one you don't like I really don't know that I want to use this one, I'm just going to cut another one and use that instead, because I don't like the blank in the center, but here I'm going to get some cool scallops and stuff. So there's 2 ways. But also remember, you're going to be going this way too. So let me flip these around because we're cutting them in half. So I'm going to flip that around. This is the part that I love doing, is playing with the fabric, seeing what you're going to get, showing the colors, and doing all that stuff. Now, see, when I did this one, it's not as interesting because it doesn't have as much color or fabric or flowers and stuff in it. So if I did that and I cut it this way, I would be like, maybe I don't want to use this one. Like I said, you have extra, or cut it the other way. So we're going to cut my diagonal going this way instead of this way. And if you're questioning how do I figure this out, do exactly what I'm doing. Lay it out. That's how I figured it out. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes more sense.
Do you vary this kaleidoscope center, or do you?
Yep.
Or do them the same, all the same?
I totally varied them. See here, I've got a different one. This one is a different one. Here's another one that I might redo because I don't really like the blank in the center, and I'm not getting that cool kaleidoscope effect. So I may redo that one, but this one is one of my favorites because look how cool that flower comes out in the center. So it really gives it a neat look. So that's where playing around with it. And, you know, like I said, I don't know that I'm going to use this one. You have extra of the pink, not as much as the white. So before you even sew it together, which I should have done, I should have laid it out just like I'm doing here and see which one I like. And if I don't like it, discard it and cut some more.
Right.
Who cares? It doesn't matter. Yes.
Can you use any print pattern, animals, or geometrical designs?
Yeah, as long as you get a repeat, okay? I don't know about geometrics. I would go, you want some definite, like a flower or an animal or something. You just have to be careful with an animal that you go cut it and you get a whole bunch of butts going in a circle. There's my mind going. This is what I think about. But you know, you can try it. That's what I would do. I would try it. I would try different fabrics. You want a little bigger print because unless you want to make your square smaller, which you certainly can. This size is just a nice size for this block. So with this particular fabric that I cut, remember I just randomly chose fabric or a square. I'm also going to have this kaleidoscope because remember you're getting 2 out of your same 4 squares because you're going to cut them in half. So I like them both. I think they both look really cool. So I'm going to cut my diagonal this way. I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to take these off. I just stack them. I'm going to stack them together and make sure you line them up so they're all lined up nicely. Right? And remember, I don't want to do that because I don't get much interest. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to go from corner to corner, and I'm going to cut it. Okay? So now I've got my 4 ready to go. So if you just want to see again how they look, just pop them on top of another block. And then I'll put this on top of this block so you can see how that looks. And really, it's hard to get them alike unless you do all your squares exactly the same, which you could. There's plenty of fabric, but I like the interest that you get by using different fabrics and different positions of this particular fabric.
So where can I get this fabric?
This fabric, oh, I'm so glad you asked. You can actually get a kit for this on Bear Creek Quilting Company. They have kits for it. They're in stock. They'll send them out to you, so check it out. They're on Facebook, but they are also on their website. I saw them there myself. So check it out. They are in, I believe, Oregon, and so they will send it out to you. But it's a lot of fun to make this quilt. When I was playing with these fabrics, I'm like, I just want to make these centers because this is just so fun. Yeah. So that's how you would cut your centers. Not hard at all. Let me show you how we square them up using the Fit to Be quarter ruler.
Which you can get at www.opengatequilts.com.
There you go. So check it out. Remember, it's on sale till Sunday, so make sure you get it while you can. The cool thing about the Fit to Be quarter 6.5 and companion ruler is that with this ruler, I use it all the time for squaring up half square triangles. There's 2 diagonal lines on this ruler. There's one going this way and there's also one going this way. So when you're trimming, if you happen to be doing it this way, you have your diagonal line going this way. If you're doing it this way, you can do it this way. It's also awesome for quarter square triangles. That's really what I designed it for, but I use it for half square triangles all the time. Okay, so what you'll do is line up your diagonal line and just trim off any little bit of excess that you have. Remember with this, I trim these down to 4 7/8 before I actually sewed them together. And normally I do not do that because of this print. I wanted them to be as close to the same as possible. So I'm just going to line up my diagonal line, trim off my excess, rotate it around, line it up on 4 1/2 exactly, and trim any excess. And that's a good way to get all these little points off that you get. And see how it's starting to come together when you do this. So again, line up your diagonal line. If you're going to trim any off, make sure you're not less than 4 1/2 here and here. And trim. Rotate it. Line it up on 4 1/2. And trim any excess. And why are they bigger? Because of your 1/4 inch seam might not be perfect. Mine's not perfect, so they are a little bit bigger. If they're a little smaller, you might need to do more of a scant 1/4 inch. But there's very little to cut off. But I do like to square them so I know that they're all going to be the same size and fit together nicely. And see how cool that kaleidoscope looks? It just looks really cool. And this is a half a flower. So what?
We're gonna roll it.
There is the ruler. And don't forget, you get the free pattern. So opengatequilts.com. So check that out. Okay. All right. So once you have your centers done, the next thing you need to do is you need to do the rest of your block. So you're just going to sew these together in rows. So this one to this one, this one to this one, and then you're going to put those together, okay? Oops. All right, so we've got that. The next thing I want to show you, and I'll check on the instructions to see which ones I do next, is the flying geese. We need to do flying geese because if you look at this block, I've got flying geese and I have half square triangles and half square triangles. So I've got lots and lots of half square triangles, which is, if you know me, that's one of my favorite things. And that's why, where'd I put my ruler? I love my fit to be 1/4 6.5 because it trims these up beautifully, and I'm going to show you how to do that. With the flying geese, I did not use my ruler this time, but next time I will show you how to do that. I did a quick flip corner on this. So I did where you draw your diagonal line on the back of your 2 1/2 inch square. You have a 2 1/2 by 4 1/2 inch rectangle of your burgundy. Sew on that, press it out, trim the bottom 2 layers to 1/4 inch. Add your second piece on the same way and press it out. And then you get your flying geese. And for each block, you're going to need 4 of those. And do I happen to have some? Of course I do. So here, I'm going to move some of this stuff out so it's not so confusing. So we're just, and this is part of the fun, I think, of quilting, is getting blocks done and seeing how they're going to look. I like to lay my blocks out, and I like to get at least one block done before I start my chain sewing. That's definitely how I do things. So it's kind of like looking at Christmas presents before you get them. I don't do that though, never.
So do you want to know the pattern name again and the fabric?
Okay, it's called Burgundy Blush is the pattern name, and that's the name of the fabric as well.
Yep.
And you can get it on a maywoodstudio.com free pattern, so check it out. The ruler's opengatequilts.com. Okay, So how do I do normally, because I did my half square triangles differently with the kaleidoscope because I wanted to make sure I get that cool kaleidoscope effect. How do I normally do my half square triangles? Well, what I do is I oversize and I square down. So I'm going to take a 3-inch square of my background and a 3-inch square of my burgundy, and I'm going to put right sides together. Then what I'll do, and you can draw your lines before or after you put them together, it's up to you. On the back of the lightest fabric, I'm going to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner, okay? Next thing, I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch out from both sides of the line. You can see a little better on the burgundy because of the lighter thread. You're going to cut that apart, and then you're going to press them open towards the dark. So you get 2 out of each square, and let me show you how we do our squaring up. So like I said, I make it larger and square it down, and what I'll do is I'm going to use again that diagonal line like I did with the larger squares, and notice that I'm a little smaller or a little larger than the 2.5. Did that on purpose. If you're going smaller, that won't work because we want to make sure it's at least 2.5-inch square, so it's got to be lined up here, a little more there, trim, and then trim, rotate it around, and this time all I do is line it up on the 2.5, trim, and trim. Okay, so see how nice my points come out, and look how perfect that is. It's 2.5-inch unfinished square. So now once I have all my pieces done for that, and the instructions tell you how many to cut, how many to sew together. For each block, I'm going to need 12 half square triangles. So what I'll do is I'm going to line it up on my block here. And then I'll show you how we put it together. All right. Any
Louise
questions?
says it's beautiful, but I can't get the square to go right.
Which square? The center square?
Shouldn't say.
Okay. If she answers, let me know, because I'm wondering if I'll show again how we cut the center square. Maybe that's where she's having trouble on how to get these so that they're exactly the same. I'll do that one more time because I meant to show you anyway how to do that. All right, let me finish with this and we'll go back to that. So what you'll do is, again, you're going to sew these together in 4s. You're going to sew your flying geese with your half square triangles on the side. You're going to sew them onto the sides of your center square. Sew these in a row and sew them to the top and bottom, and there is your block. And one of the things that I really like to do when I am making, especially when I'm doing my first block, is I like to lay it out, make sure all my pieces are in the same direction as they should be. Then when I start chain sewing, I always have a reference. I can look back at this block and go, oh yeah, this needs to be going where the light goes towards the center. It just helps you remember exactly how you're doing it. So that's how I do it when I'm doing some chain piecing. And another thing is I love to see how a block comes out. So if I do one, then at least I know exactly what it's going to come out like, and then I can just follow from there. So let me go back. So that's how you put your blocks together. Let me show you how to cut your squares again. Just a quick refresher. All right, so notice I have these already that are the same. And then I have extra here. So I didn't discard these. These are from my first original squares that I cut. And what I'll do is I'm going to kind of look at them and see, and I think I'm just going to cut this into a 5-inch square. Because remember, it's a 5-inch strip. we trim them down after. So I'm going to do that.
Lee wants to know what's the name of the quilt shop with the quilts.
It is called Bear Creek Quilt Company, and it's online or on their on Facebook as well. So it's Bear Creek Quilt Company. Okay. So again, like I did before, I'm going to trim that, and then I know I'm risking it by turning it around, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then, so what you're doing is you're just making sure that you line up each square exactly on the same. So what you can kind of remember is, or try to look for, is like this particular thing is following, my stem is following itself here. My stem meets here, so that looks pretty good. So I'm going to trim that, turn it around, and trim that. And so far I have 3, so I'm doing great. The next thing I'm going to do is, and if you're finding that 3 is too many, just take 1 and use that and just find it. Again, line up the best you can on your pieces. If you're off a little bit, it's not going to make that much of a difference. You just don't want to be like way over here and then hope to get it to match. You want it to be as close as you can and line up like here and right here. And then again, we're going to cut that. And then we're going to turn it around and we're going to cut that. All right. And so we've got our 4 pieces. I'm going to line them up, and now I'm going to cut this to the 4 7/8. Remember, I cut it before I go any further so that I know that I'm not going to be trimming the wrong side off when I put these together. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do a little bit over here, back over here, and trim it to 4 7/8. And then this is where you're going to start playing with your fabric. Am I going to cut it this way, or am I going to cut it this way? And this one, actually, if I look at it, I'm going to take, and if I cut this way, I can see I'm going to get some really cool kaleidoscopes going on this way. But if you turn it around, it might be a little more boring. See, I'm not getting any kind of cool design, but you don't have to use it. Cut another 4 squares to make it work. So you don't have to use everything because you do have extra fabric. If you like one side and not the other, discard the other side or use it for something else. So there you go. Does that make sense
That makes sense
to you? Does that make sense to everybody? Does everybody have any questions on it?
Not so much anymore. You've been answering pretty good since we've been
Okay,
going.
great.
Well, my friend Lisa is watching. Tommy's girlfriend.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Good luck with your business.
Yeah.
Right there.
I thought it was Julie.
Well, it's Julie's daughter, but yes, and mother and
Lisa.
daughter.
Oh, okay.
So it's Mad Designs, mother and daughter.
Nice,
Designs.
nice. Well, welcome. I hope they do well, and welcome to everybody who's watching. And thank you, everybody, for all the kind wishes for us to get better. Mark is on the mend, and I'm still just a little bit, but I'm getting there. And yeah, we're glad everybody joined us tonight. We get quite a few watchers, so that's good. So don't forget, if you're interested in the ruler, it's the Fit to Be quarter. Let's put it on some white. It'll be easier to see. There you go. Fit to Be quarter 6.5 in companion. And if you're wondering what the companion ruler is, I'm going to show you that. I'll show you that next week. So I'll show you how to use this. So we started off using that, and then we're going to use that. And you are going to love this ruler if you haven't already got it. And then remember, you do get a free pattern with it.
Right, which
makes that pretty quilt.
That beautiful quilt right there.
Yes. So if you're interested in getting in the drawing for, let me show this one more time, Confetti.
Oh. Don't mind
Let's
the
see
dog.
Dog's head at the bottom. This This is Confetti, and it's actually a very simple quilt, block quilt with sashing, and it's just a fun, quick quilt to make. It's all squares, no triangles.
So how do you win this fun pattern?
How do you win this fun pattern? You go on to our Facebook Live, comment, share, and I don't know, tell us where you're from. I always like to see where everybody's
And
from.
invite your friends to like our page.
And invite your friends and watch us every Thursday night because we're here, whether you're here or not. But we hope you come and watch us. And I'm not sure what we're gonna do next week. I am just so glad we finally got Burgundy and Blush done. That was just like, whoo! Finally, we got that good. But we got it done. It's a great quilt. Again, OpenGateQuilts.com has the rulers. MaywoodStudio.com has a free pattern for Burgundy and Blush. We will also put that on the, again, we'll put it on our Facebook page so you guys can check that out and download the free pattern. And also look for other free patterns. There's some pretty cool free patterns on Maywood. They really, each time they come up with a new line, they put a free pattern on there. And it's wonderful because it's from the people who design usually their lines. Like I did the one for my fabric line, and other people are doing them for their fabric lines. So it's great to the designer is actually designing and has a vision for what they have done, what they want to do with their fabric. So next week, if you have any suggestions on what we do, I am going to show you how to use the companion. But again, I'll come up with something cool if you guys don't tell me what to do. Hopefully you don't like it. But we're here every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central. And thanks for watching, and quilt bind and enjoy. Bye.